What's up, guys? How are you doing? Welcome back to the channel, man. I hope everybody's doing well. You know, hey, for my Canadian people, I do have a Canadian jersey here, man. The Toronto Raptors, baby. Number one, I don't know if y'all can guess if there's any fans of basketball that's gonna be watching. Tell me which jersey I'm wearing right now. But anyway, let's go. We're about to get in this video and see what's going on. First time you realize America really messed you up. I mean, I don't think I'm messed up. I think I'm pretty cool. You know what I mean? I'm a pretty cool guy. But there are some stuff that America really has, traumatized me with. So we're gonna see what this video is talking about. I want to see if I can relate. It's about to be funny, man. But anyway, man, if you are new to the channel, come on, Vinny. Remember, my friends say Vinny, woo, Vinny, number. Come by the numbers. We're growing every day, and we're doing these type of videos because I know you love these. I know you guys love these videos, and me as well. I love doing them, watching them, and laughing because personally, I don't take anything personal. I laugh at it with you guys, so. You already know. Let's go.
If you're an American currently living abroad, what is one time that made you realize that America really messed you up?
I got one. I moved to Italy about a month ago, and my roommate is from Spain, and we were talking about things to do outside since the weather was getting nicer, like rent bikes, take walks, and she said we should have a shooting. And I said, a what? She said, a shooting. Like, let's go have a shooting. I was like, and she was like, yeah, like, let's go get dressed up and take some cute pictures by, like, the canals or something. Pictures.
In the U.S., I could not let my 11-year-old son go outside and play by himself. Someone would call the cops or something would legitimately happen to him, and so there was no way. And when I moved to Germany, my husband, who's a German national, suggested that he go outside and play by himself because we would not have to worry.
I'm not living abroad
That's
anymore,
facts.
but
Hold
I was from.
I have to stop it on that. America is messed up. A lot of the people have mental issues, like the kidnapping of children, the abuse of children. It's rampant in America, for sure. So, me, when I first moved to France, all these kids out here playing. You'll see kids walking far, long distances by themselves. Young kids too, like 6 years old, 5 years old, with no worries in the world. I was like, what? You couldn't do this in America. Somebody would have snatched these kids up quick. But, that's part of it, man. That's a trauma. This is a trauma that, that I'm worried about with my son. Like, I'm cool here in France. He go outside and play, but in America, ooh, not too far, buddy.
I'm not living abroad anymore, but I was from 2010 to 2011. I was living in Uppsala, Sweden, which is like about 45 minutes north of Stockholm. And this was before any major civil unrest was happening in the country or Trump or anything. This was like 10 years ago. I was out with friends and we started talking about how this Swedish girl happened to have cancer and how it's completely taken care of by their government. All of her health care, all of her bills are paid for. The odds are that she will definitely get over cancer. So I go up to my two friends, one from Australia, one from Canada, and I say, oh my God, you guys, did you hear? She has cancer and the government's completely taking care of all of her bills. Isn't that amazing? Like, oh my God. And then my friends replied, Sabrin, you realize that you are the weird ones. Americans are the only ones that don't have that program. That was the first of many moments where I was embarrassed to be an American.
It's not current, but when I was studying in the UK, one day I really needed to see a doctor. But I didn't know how to access care. I didn't know what my insurance situation was like, so I just went to work. And eventually I was in so much pain that I burst into tears and my boss pulled me aside. And he was like, what's up? And I was like, I really need to see a doctor, but I don't know how to access care here. I don't know if I can afford it. And he was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Go down the street to the hospital. And I argued with him. And he was like, no, just trust me. Just go to the hospital. So I went and I was like clutching my student ID in my hand, my passport. And I was like trying to remember how much I had in my bank account, like checking. And I got called back to the doctor. He was like, yep, this is what's wrong with you. Pick up your prescription on the way out. And I was like, I'm sorry, do you know how much it's going to be? And he said, I don't know, maybe 8 pounds. I was like, I'm sorry, 8? He was like, yeah, I don't think it's ever more than that. The receptionist kept laughing at me because I didn't feel comfortable leaving without paying somebody, and I kept asking if I owed anybody any money.
So I don't live in Europe, but I was visiting relatives in the UK a couple of years ago, and my inhaler got destroyed. They convinced me to talk to the pharmacist first before seeing a doctor, in case I didn't need to. And the pharmacist said, yes, of course, we can refill this for you. No problem. It's a life-saving medication. And I'm like, great. And the pharmacist says, I did want to warn you, though. I'm very sorry. The price has gone up. And I'm just thinking the worst. And he says, yes, I'm very sorry. It's going to be £8.80. I said, £8.80. And he said, yeah, it's going to be £8.80. I'm really sorry. The prices just keep going up. And that is when I realized that the U.S. health insurance system is well and truly because that £8.80 prescription in the UK with really good health insurance costs me $50 per inhaler in the United States for a medication I need to literally live. So yeah.
Buckle up, kids. This one's gonna hurt. So I just moved to Italy with my boyfriend who is Italian. Going through all of his old paperwork today, and he showed me a bill from the hospital when he cut his hand open pretty badly and had to get stitches. It cost €4, which is the equivalent of $4.50.
That's good.
I am back for round 2 on this one.
Come on.
So I just moved to Italy with my boyfriend who is Italian. We're watching a movie the other day where somebody is running away and they get shot. And I'm like, you know what? That's their fault. They didn't run in a zigzag. That's like the first thing they teach you, to run in a zigzag if somebody's pointing a gun at you. He pauses the movie. And he looks at me and he goes, who taught you that? And I'm like, you know, like teachers, adults, parents, like they teach you when you're young to run in a zigzag if somebody is pointing a gun at you.
I don't know about
The
yeah.
sinking feeling I had.
Yeah.
When I realized,
not teachers though. You don't learn that in school. I never learned that
when he
in
was
school.
young.
I never had any
Because
teachers
that's not a problem
teaching me
here.
that.
So another thing that I think about a lot
But
is
adults,
I have German friends, Dutch friends, Polish friends, and they all went on class trips to concentration camps when they were like 8 years old. Whereas in the US, I never learned anything about the Native Americans, like what really happened, until I took a Native American studies class in college. They are sitting there learning about, and they like use the word genocide. They tell them we committed genocide against the Jews here in Europe. And in the US, they're like, natives helped us move onto their land and they just kind of moved away so we could settle. And they don't teach us anything about the Dawes Act. They don't teach us anything about the Stone Sisters. They don't teach us anything about how Columbus wiped out an entire island in the Caribbean. And like, they don't teach us about the smallpox blankets and the cholera and everything at all.
So I'm from Chicago and I moved to Denmark when I was like 14, and I've been in public school ever since I moved here. And I remember this one time I was with my friends, and this was probably like the first 6 months of my first year at school here. And I was just like, we haven't had an intruder drill yet. Like, when are we gonna have one of those? And they were just
hey, she must like, hold on.
Just like, we haven't had an intruder drill yet. Like, when are we gonna have one of those? And they were
A what?
It's just like, we haven't had an intruder drill yet. Like, when are we gonna have one of those? And they
y'all see her nails? She must like cows with these black and white nails. Or Dalmatians. But yeah, intruder drill. We usually don't have intruder drill. Fire drills? I never had an intruder drill, but this must have been put in place after I got done with school, because that's when a lot of school shootings start to happen. That's in America, man. Another trauma.
They were just like, what is an intruder drill? What is that? And I had to like explain, like, you know, it's like you're practicing in case someone comes in the school to come like shoot or something. And they're just like, we do not do that here. There is no threat of people coming to kill us. And then I was like, oh yeah, I don't have to be like scared for my life at school in this country. Forgot about that.
I was living abroad in the UK, and I had a job interview. And of course, growing up in the US, you're conditioned to dress so professional, be prepared, have your resume, and all these things. So I was like that really much. And I remember walking into the interview, and they were like, oh, well, you look really snazzy. And I was like, okay, that first of all, I've never heard that before at an interview. And then secondly, they didn't even ask me anything besides, hey, Kyle, would you like a cup of tea? And I was like, okay. Never was asked that before ever in any other job interviews. We had a tea and we literally like sat and talked about all sorts of stuff, personal life, their life, and we just had a laugh for like 45 minutes. And right afterwards, they're like, "You're perfect for the job. You fit great." And it was really crazy to me, and it was a really fun experience. I wish the U.S. would just chill out sometimes a little bit more.
That sounds good.
All right, so when I lived in France, I went to a cafe with my friend, and outside the cafe, there were a whole bunch of baby strollers with human babies inside of the strollers. And I was super freaked out, and I asked my friend, why would anybody leave their babies outside unattended in their strollers? Aren't you afraid of something happening to them? And my friend looked at me and said, why would you assume that anything would happen to a baby? Who would be so horrible to do something to a baby? Yeah.
I might have to call bullshit on that because I've been living in France. I've never seen a whole bunch of baby strollers outside of a cafe unattended with babies just... That's... Come on now. Hey, listen. Some of this stuff might be real, but some of this stuff is far-fetched, bro. And what parent is going to leave their child outside in a baby outside in a stroller unattended with a whole bunch of, like, it's just like a, what is, come on, this just don't even sound right, dog. I'm calling bullshit on that, dog. I've never seen that in France a day in my life. And what parent is going to do that in the first place? Anything can happen. Come on. That story, you know, you're not messed up for thinking, yeah, why would people, yeah, why exactly? Why would somebody leave a whole bunch of babies outside in strollers unattended? It doesn't even make sense.
I live in Warsaw, Poland now, but I always stay in touch with what's happening in the US, and I happened to hear about that Las Vegas shooting when someone opened fire on a bunch of concert goers. And it was very tragic news, but that day I also went to the movies, so I was already in a kind of weird mental state. And when I left the movies, I got on the tram again in Warsaw, and I saw this guy kind of being sketchy and acting weird in the last seat. And I kept eyeing him the whole time, and he had his jacket open, and he was holding something inside. He was hiding it. And I thought, my first American thought was, it's a gun or a knife or some kind of weapon, and I need to move away as soon as possible. So I kept looking at him the whole ride, and then he takes it out, and it was a beer can. He was sipping it and hiding it during the tram ride. That's what happens in Poland. Not guns, not knives. And I started crying and laughing at the same time because that's when I realized, wow, that's messed up.
No, hell no. That's not messed up. Those are great instincts to have. No matter if you're, man, that's a great instinct. I'm sorry. If somebody has a coat open, they're hiding something, they have something that they're not supposed to have. That could be anything. So for you to think it's a weapon, there's nothing wrong with that. Yes, think it's a weapon. What if it really was a weapon? You'd have been prepared to act. Man, I've seen people, I've seen people get attacked with, not personally, but situations in France. I've seen people get attacked with guns, knives. Man, I seen one guy, bro, where was this at, man? This was I think it was in Paris. Listen. This dude was at a park in Paris just stabbing kids, going around stabbing kids in broad daylight. I seen another one where the baby was crying and a man just came up and slapped the shit out the baby. I'm like, what the hell? And the grandpa wasn't even, it was a grandma and the baby. The man came, he was like a skinny man. He just came, kept slapping the kid and going and trying to hit the kid. And like the grandpa wasn't even trying, they're just trying to protect the baby like this. Like, bro, you better try to fight the man. What? You better fight him. Come on. You fight him and tell grandma to get the baby to safety. Y'all just trying to turn and do this. Listen, man, I've seen some crazy stuff. And so that instinct to think that a weapon is under his jacket, that's a normal instinct, and you should not feel ashamed about feeling that way. I'm sorry.
I duetted this TikTok about a year ago, and I still stand by the fact that, like, we're significantly dumber in the States. School's a lot different here, but they learn so much more about life and things around us than we ever did. But another thing that I've noticed is people are so dependent in the States, especially, like,
parents, I think, are more dependent and like feel the need to be in their child's lives more. Here, I'm sure they're great parents. I mean, 90% of the kids are super good, but like fourth graders are getting on the tram in the morning. Their parents are kissing them bye, saying peace out. Not the school bus, the tram. And you know what? At night, they get back on the tram and they figure out their way home. Like, the parents are not as like involved in the kids' lives, and they're so independent. But even like at home in the States, even me, who's almost 20 years old, like, I'm still dependent on my mom.
Okay, so I moved to Sweden. And when I got here, I wasn't feeling too well.
What the hell wrong with her?
The doctor recommended that I get an EKG, an
You
electrocardiogram. Instead of worrying about my health,
She's
my first
still not
reaction
feeling
was,
well.
I'm sorry, I don't know if I can get one of those because I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford it. And this sweet little man, this sweet, amazing doctor goes, did you not pay the like $20 when you got here? I ended up getting a
What's wrong with her?
a regular EKG, a 24-hour-long EKG, a blood test, and a freaking checkup for $20. Best part of this entire situation is that I am getting better and I am getting the medical attention I need without going broke.
You need some more medical attention. The way you're acting on that video, she need to get as much medical attention as she need. And she is, boy, you a little too excited, dog. Oh, we got a lot of videos about these American. Hey, hold on now. So hold on, listen, guys. If you guys like this video, please let me know which was your favorite story here. If you want me to do more of these videos, guys, just let me know in the comment section. I need like, we need to get like 500, at least 500 likes on this video. 500 likes would be good. But anyway, that was it. A few of these stories sounded kind of fishy, but, you know, some of those, you know, I know they were true because I've experienced the same type of feelings and traumas as well. And, you know, that's part of being an American. And I will see you guys in the next video.